The countdown is on and there is just 7 days to go until the new king is crowned. Joining us live now is Associate Professor from Sydney University, Cindy McCreery. Associate Professor, thank you so much for your time. No doubt final preparations and rehearsals are underway. What is happening in London as we speak?
Look, Gabriella, as you say, it's only a week to go, so it's all systems go. We know that 7,000 defence personnel are practising in the processions. We know that choirs are rehearsing, and we know that many volunteers are also preparing for their special moment in the coronation. But of course, all eyes are on the British royal family and the roles that Charles, Camilla, William and his family will play, because they're really at the centrepiece of next weekend's events.
They certainly are. Do you think the family scandals, the infighting, is going to overshadow the coronation, or will it mark a turning point?
Look, I think there will be mixed views of this coronation. I think that while there'll be a lot of sentiment and approval and support for Charles and Camilla, for William and his family, I think for some observers, people will be thinking of those people who are not there, namely not just Meghan Markle, but also, of course, the late Princess Diana. So I think that around the world, there will be support for the king and interest in the coronation, but also perhaps a sense of poignancy about what might have been.
There's also a bit of controversy around the coronation itself, how much it's going to cost amid a cost of living crisis. There has been some protesters, but not many so far in the lead up to the coronation. What do you expect on the day?
I don't think on the day we'll see many large-scale protests. I think that will come afterwards. And I think we can already see, Gabriella, that there's been a rise in discussion about, for example, the links with the royal family and slavery, the cost of the royal family. And I think that the Guardian newspaper in the UK is leading some of those campaigns. And I think we can expect to see those campaigns will kind of go full throttle after the weekend itself. Also, there will be, I think, increasing pressure on the British government, which is funding for and organising the ceremony, to come clean about the costs, which they've said they will do after the ceremonies.
Okay, well, we will of course have to wait and see. The ceremony itself, it's expected to take around 2 hours. There are reports that the rehearsals are already running overtime. Can you take us through what we can expect?
Look, this is a really complex operation involving thousands of people, but as you say, it is actually going to be shorter than the coronation of Queen Elizabeth in 1953, where it took something like 45 minutes for the entire procession to pass any one stationary point. So there are going to be fewer people involved, but it's still a very complex operation. And I think that we can expect to see a really probably military-style event, as we've become used to with the British royal family and British spectacle. But it is one, I think, that's going to involve many more volunteers and ordinary people than previous coronations.
Okay, it is going to be fascinating to watch because no one does it quite like the Brits. 2,000 people around the world really will be attending, including world leaders and foreign dignitaries. What about the Australians who will be in attendance?
Yeah, so we know that the Prime Minister, we know the Governor-General, the governors of several Australian states are attending. We also know that some Indigenous Australians will be very prominent in the coronation ceremony, and we know that King Charles is very keen that Indigenous Australians are very present. So before the King arrives at Westminster Abbey, various representatives of different Commonwealth realms will be processing into the cathedral, holding banners representing their states and territories. So we will see Australians very present in that. We also know that ADF personnel are also very involved in the ceremonial processions to and from Westminster Abbey.